where
Has
he's
he
at.
played
but
out before with people?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
he's
yeah,
in
yeah.
several bands.
Yeah.
Big AC/DC guy. Used to
Yeah.
have AC/DC tribute.
Oh, nice.
I'm not sure the name of their tribute band, but it doesn't exist anymore. So.
And we don't have much time to practice, and once you know how it is, once you get the material down, it's like
Yeah.
the only time we get together is when we're learning new material. So he's had it really rough, does a lot of learning at home, I
Right.
suppose.
We just threw 40 songs at him.
Yes, yeah.
That's
Like,
not
well, I
easy.
know
Yeah.
15, 20 of them, and now we're.
Yeah.
So,
And you can get them down, but you don't really get them down till you get
Yeah.
down with everybody. You know what I mean?
It's
You
like
can,
here's 40
Right.
songs. Our next gig's next weekend.
right. Yeah, no pressure.
it's the way I started Wet.
Right,
I
right.
had 3 weeks to learn 40 songs.
Speaking of White Line, you guys have both been in a couple of different bands. Brian, you want to go first? You want to say what other bands you've been in?
Well, I started in. You want to go back to the Dragons when I
To-
was like
to,
12,
like-
12 years old.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
hear about this.
The Dragons.
Back to the
we
1900s.
actually made we actually made the Coshocton Tribune. You look it up. I'm sure it's somewhere in their archives. Made
Microfiche or
like
whatever.
the front page of the Coshocton Tribune, playing in my backyard on Locust Street. Me and Steve Wallace and Mark Wright. Jay Tarman, our buddy Jay,
Yeah.
is in the front row. It's the only row, but Jay was standing there as a little kid watching us. Anyway, mostly known for White Line back in the White Line days.
Do you remember the name of that band?
Dragons.
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 Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant you were going so far back in time that the time of Dragons. I missed that one. Yeah. Cool name.
I believe it was the Dragons. I know if I go to the house on Locust Street and look in the garage in the alley, my graffiti is still covered on the inside of the walls of this garage.
Do you remember any tunes you guys did?
Oh, AC/DC, a lot of AC/DC. Jeez. I remember doing it's like Ted Nugent, Cat Scratch Fever. Jeez. Kiss, of course.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's mandatory. You have to
Right,
play
right.
Kiss in your first band.
Yeah, in the 70s, that'd probably make you move out of your neighborhood if you didn't own a Kiss.
70s, well, early 80s anyway, though.
Okay. I'm not good with numbers, man. I'm not.
So anyway, yeah, White Line, did that for, 20 some years, big part of my life was with White Line. After White Line, we started Cracker Slang, did that for a few years. Piss-n-Vinegar is actually the remnants left of Cracker Slang.
So was there a big shift in musically from like White Line to
Oh, huge
Cracker
shift,
Slang?
huge shift. Everything from the tuning to the, just the because of the tuning, I was able to pick up a whole different genre of music,
Right.
stuff that I was comfortable singing. Didn't have to worry about losing my voice,
Right,
which
right.
makes everything better,
Right, right.
Played a lot of grunge. I think we mostly played grunge. And then we started writing originals, did a lot of originals, if you look it up on YouTube or whatever, look Cracker Slang up, you'll probably be surprised how many originals are on there.
And you played in Cracker Slang too?
Right.
Faceless, we did a band called Faceless
For a short stint.
yeah.
Jake Cattell and Eric Franks and Ricky Wheeler.
Oh yeah. I forgot about Faceless. I remember, like I said, it's kind of hard for me to sit here and act like I don't know you guys because I've known you my whole life. But I forgot.
Sorry about that, Bill.
Nah, yeah, it's all right, man. I pulled through. I mean, I'm pretty well adjusted. As adjusted as you can be.
Yeah.
But yeah, like White Line is pretty cool because that's where I figured out I was a bass player.
Yeah.
Right, right.
I grew up playing six string,
Right.
and just learning all the riffs. A lot of influences from all the songs White Line played, and then actual
Right.
White Line songs. So I was very familiar with it and stuff. And
Right. I remember being
I
a
actually
kid.
took Eric Franks' spot. So he
Yeah.
stepped aside when they went to do Symmetry.
Oh, right, right,
And then
right.
that's when I got my shot at White Line and
It seems like
got to go record 3 times in the
Stuck
studio.
with us
and-
ever since.
right, like
Stuck with me ever since.
I remember things as you're saying it. It's not like I forgot it. It's just like I put it in the back room and it was buried under a bunch of other shit. But I
Yeah.
remember, yeah, I guess that I didn't think of that timeline lined up. That's when Cemetery started, and
Right. And then when White Line dissolved, you kind of branched off and did the Cracker Slang thing with Kirk and that. And then you and I did the KPC thing
Right.
with Randy and Frazier
right,
for probably 6, 7 years, anyways.
yeah, I think it was, yeah, probably about 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, I think as soon as KPC kind of dissolved, I snagged Shutty
Right,
up.
right.
Like, you know,
He's
gotta get-
available.
yeah, we got to get back into this.
Very cool. So as far as musical influences, who, like when you guys put on your favorite band or singer or whatever, who do you listen to?
I'm. You would think would be more into vocalists, but I'm into that riff.
Right,
You know?
right.
I gotta have a good riff. I don't listen to any. No disrespect to like death metal or anything like that, but the whole growling. you know,
Right.
I need some vocal content. You know.
Right, I'm the same way, man.
I need to hear a melody and harmonies, and
Right.
so. But at the same time, I want it heavy enough to like Seether. I love Seether.
Right.
Great band. Puddle of Mud. I loved Puddle of Mud when they were in their height.
Right.
Geez, there's so many of them, you know. But those are my influences. Are bands that have the heavy riff but a killer vocal
Right.
that's on top of it.
What about you, Shuddy? What? I mean, obviously Clutch.
No, for sure. Clutch is a big influence. Been following them for 30 years now, close to it. Yeah, like I said, a lot of the music from White Line, like all that.
Right.
It's what I grew up learning how to play, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I remember.
riffing out.
A
And,
lot of that 80s hair metal.
yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
80s hair metal. No, I like a little bit of growl and vocals.
Yeah.
And but a little bit goes a long way, I guess.
Right.
You know.
Of course, all your
I
classic
like when
bands.
it's changed up and it has a good growl and then a good vocal along with to accommodate it, though. But
Yeah, and anybody old enough, you know,
if I listen to anything with a good groove, if it gets my
Right.
head moving, I'm going to listen to
Right.
it. You know what I mean?
but you
It's just
can't, if
kinda
you've done it as long as we've done it, you can't help but be influenced by, you know, all the AC/DC, the
Oh, yeah.
Aerosmith, and the, you know.
Especially when it comes to writing originals, you write something and then you listen to it back and you're kind of like, man, that sounds familiar. And then it usually takes an outside person to say, oh, it sounds like this. And then your first reaction might be like, oh, I don't want it to sound. But then you're like, well, it's going to kind of sound like Clutch because I like Clutch. And I listen to a lot of Alice in Chains. So if I write a song and it's about a certain subject matter, it might, and I try to maybe mirror stuff or not copy it, I guess, because first of all, no one's that good. You know what I mean? But that guy.
I was at the perfect age where, you know, hair metal came first. Well, maybe not first, but I mean, really getting into music and playing music. You had all the hair metal bands, and then I got to be around to watch and listen to grunge evolve.
Right.
And I mean, man, you talk about musical influences when that happened. You know?
Right.
And that grunge really gave you the best of the heavy riff with a killer
Right.
vocal.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah,
And the riffs got dumbed down. It was a lot easier to play.
right. Right. Well,
I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying.
It's like they got a lot done with a little bit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
for sure,
the riffs had enough meat to it to where it didn't have to be, you
Bunch
know,
of lead.
yeah, a bunch of flashy stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so out of the play, no matter what band you've been in or where you've played, where's your favorite place to play?
Probably Rock Shockton. This will be my 4th year in a row now.
Nice.
Biggest stage I've ever played on.
Yeah.
Now got biggest supporting act I've ever had. So
Right.
and that's the biggest show I've played. So
Right. Well, since you brought up
Okay.
Rock Shockton, I want to let everybody that might be watching. Rock Shockton is July 25th, 26th, and 27th. It's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's a big car show. Friday's lineup is Rusty Steel, cool name by the way. Appalachian Outlaws, Gavin Adcock. If you don't know who Gavin Adcock is, man, all you gotta do is Google this cat, and it's just this ocean of young people having a good time, and he brings a really kind
looks
of
like a good party. For
yeah,
sure.
yeah, like a definite party vibe to a concert. Let's see. Saturday we're gonna hear the debut of the Wheeler Mountain Wolves, which Shuddy is the bass player for, whether he wants to admit it or not. He's the bass.
Who's the singer?
That would be yours truly.
Nice.
Don't bother trying to look anything up. There's nothing on the old interweb about the Wolves. And yes, it's spelled correctly, Wolves. There's more than one of us. And then there's going to be Charlie Bonnet III and then Blackstone Cherry. I'm so psyched to see them guys, man.
Yeah.
And them Dirty Roses.
Oh, and them Dirty Roses. Yes, I forgot them guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a cool weekend. You can get your tickets online. Rock
and if you're-
Shockton.
If you're a fan of music, and I know there's a lot of them out there, you've got to come to this show.
Oh yeah, it's right
You've
here
got
at
to come to
Shockton,
the-
man.
yeah,
It's the biggest event of the summer, and you don't have to go to Columbus. You don't have to go to Newark. You don't,
And
So definitely check out Rock Shockton, July 25th, 26th, 27th. Buy your tickets. There's camping available. There's parking available in the fairgrounds. It's at the fairgrounds, by the way. Guess I forgot to mention where. But you're going to look it up. You're going to buy your tickets, and then they'll tell you where it is. It's kind of to the benefit of them if you know where the concert is. So, okay. And while I'm on sponsors, I want to go ahead and say thank you to the Crazy Cake Lady at 119 South 6th Street, Locals Barbershop at 1239 Chestnut, and Locals Downtown at 115 South 6th Street. That's right down from the studio here. Thank you to Brandon and Jay and Aaron and all the awesome people there. Okay, back to you guys. Let's see. What's your favorite cover? What's your favorite band to cover if you do a cover tune? I guess, okay, what's your favorite cover and why is it your favorite cover? And you can have individual answers. It doesn't have to be a band.
I think, well, right now, my favorite covers are, we do a couple Golden Earring tunes. And we put our own spin on them. And they're just so much fun.
I've heard the Radar Love. That's
Radar
freaking
Love.
cool,
and,
man. Because that's something you don't hear a band
Twilight
play.
Zone.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Twilight Zone. And we play them together back to back. So there's 15 minutes of us
Right.
just
Kinda
going
just
off on
jamming,
yeah.
yeah. That is a good section of our set.
Crowd really gets into them, and we sound really good. If I don't mind saying so myself, playing.
No, I've heard you play it, man. I agree.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's just fun.
It's a cool song too. Yeah. Cool pieces of music, and everybody knows it. When you hear that riff, you're like, "Really?" Like
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting. That's cool.
For sure.
Okay, other than favorite cover songs, is there a particular band that you guys stay away from? Like people will yell it out, and you're like, other than like Van Halen,
Freebird,
and shit like
Freebird.
that. Yeah,
I did learn the riff.
yeah.
For
Yeah.
the Nace.
But didn't you
Yeah.
tell me that if they want you to play Freebird, it's $1,000?
Oh, it's $1,000.
Yeah.
$1,000.
And we just play enough
And that's
of it.
cheap,
We just
really.
play enough
Yeah,
of the
okay.
intro to piss people off that they think that we're actually
Right.
going to play it, and then don't.
Tell me you need 500 up front, and then if you want the lead verse, it's another 500.
Yeah. Geez, bands that we stay away from. I don't know. There's probably just as many bands that we stay away from that we don't stay away from. You know what I mean? I mean, if you can't pull it off, we don't do it originals anymore. We used to do it when we were Cracker Slang. We half of our gig was originals.
Right.
We don't do any originals anymore. It's too hard to get a crowd into your originals.
Right.
It's different if you're playing in your hometown all
Right,
the time.
right.
People love the originals, but as soon as you go someplace else, they're like, "What does it?
Yeah,
what do you-
who are these guys?
Yeah, what? But you got to be able to pull. If you're going to do it, I mean, you can do different versions of it, and do your own spin on certain songs. But there's songs out there or bands out there that, unless you're giving them justice, if you're not playing that solo,
Right.
just right on, spot on, there's no sense in doing it. I'm not going to go pretend I can go do Queen. I
Right.
can't sing Queen. A lot of those operatic singers,
Right.
I can't touch that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's almost like,
Right,
why
I-
try?
You figure out your lane and you kind of stay.
Yeah,
Right.
stay in your lane.
The
Yeah.
reason I ask that question is because I've had people like, do you guys do any Led Zeppelin? Or do you guys do any Van Halen? And it's like, man, if I played Van Halen, if we could do Led Zeppelin, it would be more than $3 to get in here, man. Like,
Well, we
honestly.
do Zeppelin, and we used to do some Van Halen.
Yeah. Done like talking about love.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're not playing music, what do you like to do for fun? Other than
Jeez.
sleep, that seems to be a big answer.
That's the only thing I work a lot of hours, and when I'm not working, we're doing gigs, and when I'm not doing gigs, I regret to say I'm usually trying to catch up on sleep.
Right.
I don't nearly spend the time with my kids and grandkids like I wish I could, and should. Bill's gonna try to make me cry. So
Well,
no,
you,
but seriously,
you
it's
have to do what you have to do,
yeah,
man. And
yeah.
have the-
I mean, if you want to be a gig and band, you got to play gigs,
right.
and other than that, I mean, if you're working a full-time job, I work long hours, so like I said, I gotta sleep. You gotta
Right.
sleep sometimes.
Right.
So
Yeah, life consumes you. You
It
know,
does,
and,
man.
and
It really
you
does.
got a full time, and you got kids and grandkids,
yeah,
and
But-
that's why we keep it. That's why we're just weekend warriors.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
Right.
much Saturdays only. You know, we're not
Well, you
trying to
Play as much or as little as you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So what do you like to do, Shuddy, when you're not playing the bass? Play the bass?
yeah. I pretty much play the bass. Or I'll watch videos on playing bass.
Is there any every band's got cool road stories. You guys got to share something cool with us, man. You got to give us. It could be from the White Line days, man. It could be from any band experience on the road at a club.
you want me to go first?
You better just go first and second.
I
don't like being
want to
put
go
on the
first, man.
spot.
I got one that involves both you guys and me
Well, good.
and White Line.
I was hoping so.
when the Alarosa was in full swing and Saigon Kick come out with the album The Lizard, we dove headfirst into the album. We were fans, and we were going to go see him at the Alarosa, and we pulled in, and the whole entire band was playing like tag football in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And we're like the coolest people ever. And I just remember like that was the first time I met like
I don't
rock
think
stars.
that was. I don't think that was the Lizard. I think it was
Water. You're right. It was Water.
because
Yeah.
they didn't have their singer. That Jason started singing.
Right, you're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember that was the first time I met like rock stars. Like being from little, Coshocton, going up there, and it's like, these guys are so cool. They're like playing football. I don't know why I thought that was so cool. It's just like, I don't know whether I thought they were just going to be, surrounded by strippers and drugs or what,
Yeah, walk around with lights on. them
Yeah, with
all
people,
time with their
following around trying to get back.
glittery clothes on,
Right.
and yeah.
But go ahead, Brian. What's a
Well,
cool story?
it involves the El Rosa, which, by the way, one of my favorite venues. I don't think I got to answer that question. Which, by the way, Rock Shotgun has been great. I've also done it the last 3 years, and just a great stage and great sound. So that's been one of my favorites. But the El Rosa has always been one of my. We played a lot of shows there. White Line, opening for Dirty Looks. Ace Frehley, D. Snyder. Enough's Enough.
Love Hate.
Love Hate. That's where my story's going. So anyway, we're playing Cliff, our buddy Cliff Miller.
Shout out to Cliff.
Shout out to Cliff. He used to be my right hand man when we were playing gigs, which we played all the time. So we're playing the El Rosa. We used to do a cover song, White Punks on Dope. Put our own little twist on it. So we always ended the gig with White Punks on Dope. Previous shows we would play, you're playing gigs like that during the summertime. By the time you're done, you're stripped down to nothing but your jeans and no shirt, and you're just soaked with sweat. Got all these bright lights on you, so you can't. Once you step off the stage or try to look past the lights, it's just darkness. That I was in a habit that I would come off stage. First thing to do, Cliff would hand me a drink, usually a beer or a whiskey, whatever, and a towel. And the towel went straight onto my face and over my head. And so we're playing this show. We're opening up for Love Hate. I come off the stage after doing White Punks on Dope, walk into the darkness, reach out for my towel and my drink, get my towel and my drink, goes over my head. While I'm draped in this towel, this voice starts saying, "Man, I can't believe you guys just fucking pulled off White Punks on Dope. That's like the best version I ever heard. I wanted to do that song on our freaking first album, but they didn't want. The rest of the guys didn't want to do it." And I'm like, "This isn't Cliff talking to me.
Right.
Who is this guy?" I take the towel off. It's Johnny Love from Love Hate. He's the one that handed me the drink and you know,
Very
the towel.
cool.
And he's like, man, did you guys put this on your last album or this or that? And I'm like, no, you know, we just play it. Who are you signed with? And I'm like, no, dude, we're not
Right.
signed. We're
That
just
made you feel
We're just
great,
this
yeah.
little local band from Coshocton, you know, and
Right.
oh, you gotta, you know, I've got connections, and the next time you guys are out in LA, you gotta come to my studio so we can get this tracked, you know. And
Wow.
I'm just like, dude, we're never gonna make it to LA.
Right.
You know?
Thanks, but, yeah.
But that was one of my favorite things. There's another story of Dirty Looks, which we'd opened up for Dirty Looks numerous times. Those guys would come to the El Rosa and actually request for
I
us to
remember
open
that,
for
yeah.
them. But there were nights that after the show in the dressing room, doing things that probably shouldn't let the kids
Adult
hear.
things.
Adult stuff.
Adult stuff, business.
Yes. That was just so, I mean, the party was movie level
Right.
partying, you know.
I remember being a kid and like following the white line tail, you know, like your, what they say, your coattails, and it was just like, God, you guys were all rock stars, man. You guys just did the coolest shit and
Yeah.
went to the coolest places. You knew the coolest people, and you know, like I never met anybody that had a video on MTV, and I met Henrik, and it was all through White Line and you guys and Cliff, and
Yeah.
it was just like you said, it was something out of a movie.
We thought we were rock stars there for a while, you know. Of course, you know, we're putting out albums every
Right.
2 years of
Right.
original music that nobody else around here at the
Right,
time
absolutely.
was doing anything like that. And back then you had to go to a real studio.
That's what I was gonna say. This is pre like everything on your phone.
Yeah.
It sounds like a
Right.
you know $300 an hour studio.
Yeah.
What about you, Shuddy? Got any cool road stories, man? Any?
Yeah, you were there for half of them.
You're right. I think that's kind of hard for me to pretend that I don't know.
I didn't get to play any big shows at the El Roast or anything with White Line. That was a little bit after. It was after that era, I guess. But we did some shows with American Dog back in the day. And
Mhm.
it's just
Broken
it's
Teeth.
funny how the music scene, you know, because now we jam with one of the drummers from American Dog, you know.
Right, right.
It's just funny how if you look at White Line, how many local bands there are just in this town that musician probably had something to do with White Line.
Right,
You got
right.
Tony Allen.
Yeah.
Kind of like that 7 Degrees of Separation with Kevin Bacon,
Yeah.
where they can
Yeah.
like, well, he was in a movie with this guy who was cousins with this guy's neighbor who had a parakeet that flew on his fence.
Yeah.
And,
And they all played in White Line at one
and they
time.
all played in White Line.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
So upcoming shows with Piss-n-Vinegar. You guys want to plug anything?
We have one show.
We have one
Saturday.
show. We're playing this weekend up at the Shady Grove,
Shady Rest.
Shady Rest.
Army Navy. It's
Oh, I
in
thought you were going
Beach
to say
City,
nursing home.
Yeah, and
Strasburg area.
unfortunately, due to just some issues, health concerns with a band member, we just recently in this past week had to. We've got a full year of gigs booked.
Right.
As of right now, they're all being put on hold and canceled. Just because one of our brothers
Right,
is
right.
having some health issues, and you know,
Right. Take time, get healthy, man. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it. I wasn't told not to, but it's our drummer Mike Harris is Hazard, lovingly known as Hazard, is having some issues. So anybody out there that's listening to the podcast, and if you believe in prayer
Oh,
or
yeah.
just good vibes,
Yeah, positive thought
well
never hurt
wishes,
nobody, man, right.
send him his way because he could really use him at this time.
Good drummer, even better guy, right? I met him a few times. He's always, I don't know him as well as you, but he's always cordial, always nice,
He's a great drummer,
Great drummer,
and
yeah.
and a great guy. Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, hey, man.
We've been very fortunate to, have, it's hard to get 4 to 5 decent people that all want the same thing out of the band.
Right,
Because
right.
usually when one person doesn't want the same thing out of the band, that's when it dissolves.
Yeah.
And like,
Right.
like you and I, we can always talk, just want to be a weekend warrior. I'm going to be a weekend warrior. So
Right.
it's like, I don't have time to tour. Or,
Yeah, I would.
You
yeah,
know, play
I
all
mean,
these shows through the middle of the week. I'm just not built for that.
No, yeah, I get it. I like the fact that like with our project and what Fraser and I do with Bourbon Legends, it's as much as we want to do it or as much as we don't want
For
to do
sure.
it. Because Fraser's got 3 boys and
But if you had one
2
guy
jobs.
that didn't want to do it that way, it would be
Right. The dynamic don't work.
Yep,
right.
it's going to end.
And I know with you
Poorly,
guys,
but-
just from seeing you guys and how you interact, you're all friends. So
Right.
there's that makes a huge difference. You can't have a bunch of individuals in a band, man.
Yeah, this is different. Like getting chemistry with some strangers. Well, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
when we met Hazard, we didn't.
Right.
I've always jammed with people that I've known with or grew up with until this
Right.
lineup of Piss-n-Vinegar, and then. But it's gone well. Everybody's top notch dudes, and I can't.
Sometimes you gotta wade through a lot of stuff to get where you're going. You know what I mean? Like when we started out, like I didn't want to be the singer. It's just my brother wouldn't show up for practice. So you know what I mean? It's like I just want to be a rhythm guitar player. Steve Steitler was just like, no, just be a rhythm guitar player, man. And as long as you don't fuck up anything, nobody will even notice.
Yeah.
He's like, that's the only time they notice is when you screw up. So I would watch Steitler and he would show us stuff, and Shutty would learn it like that, and then I could learn it from Shutty, and I remember a lot of times like being up at Steitler's house, and he wouldn't let you leave until you played it right,
Yep.
and that kind of stuff. And I just want to be a guitar player, man.
We've been so fortunate in this town. This town has spawned so many great musicians.
A lot of
over the
guys and
years.
a lot of
so
fellow
many.
people in this
Sure.
town,
So
right?
every genre of music you could think of.
Yep.
But being from a small town like this and having so many local musicians is, some people don't realize what that's like.
Right,
You
right.
talk to these musicians from bigger cities, and it's just a hassle even trying to find a guitar player or a
Right.
drum, all that stuff. But talking about Hazard, so when Cracker Slang was going through some shit with some members, and it's like, well, I got this great bass player, and we need a drummer. We had a guitar player at the time that was, we were going through some stuff with him and stuff, but Hazard was brought into the fold by Keith Pickens from the drummer for American Dog.
Yeah.
And Keith got a hold of me one time and said that, I know you're looking for this drummer. You got to check this guy out. Top-notch guy, great musician, great dude. Hooked me up with Hazard. And then, Hazard, by the way, also played with American Dog.
Right.
When Keith wasn't playing with them. And then, and then it came into time when we needed a guitar player. Hazard's like, I know this guy. I know this dude, great guitar player, and just how that works, just
Right.
like musicians knowing musicians,
Right.
and just it's like boom, it was just like fell in our lap.
Yeah.
And like I've said off air, that these are the best musicians. I played with a lot of bands, a lot of musicians for a long time.
Right.
These are just not the best musicians I've ever played with.
Nice.
Right. Everybody does their homework. They show up to rehearsal prepared. So we
Right.
don't have to rehearse a whole lot to take a whole lot of time out of our,
And you guys got chemistry. You work and play well with others. You know what I mean? You know what's
It
expected
takes a
of-
little while. It's not like that came
Right,
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 off.
right.
But after about a year or two, Jim, with Terry, he gets a feel on what I do and how I'm going to play it. I get a fit, and everybody does,
And I guess I may not be in the same vein like you guys are, because you guys play all the time. But it makes a huge difference. Like you said, everybody does their homework, man. It's like don't learn the stuff at practice.
Yeah,
you're supposed to know it before you get there.
Right.
Kind of thing.
And that's what everybody kind of.
Right.
I wait till
They're all-
practice.
they're all
I don't
seasoned
do
musicians,
much, I don't do much homework.
Well,
He
to
just
be
reads it
fair-
off his
I read it
tablet.
off a tablet.
right. To be fair, as a
Bill
singer,
doesn't either.
it's kind of odd to practice. You know what I mean? Like I always use this joke. Like somebody will say, "Oh, you're in a band. What do you play?" And I'm like, "Oh, I sing." Oh yeah. And it's like, well, okay. I'll tell you. If you have a hobby, and say you make furniture, you can be like, "Oh, hey, check this out. This is a table that I made." But if you say I'm a singer, they're just like, "Oh, really?"
Sing me something.
And I'm like, no, I won't. I'm like Little Richard. No, I don't sing on demand.
Yeah.
But it's there. I don't practice. I don't really. I mean, To be honest, I don't know how to practice other than find the karaoke version of a song and see if I can hit that note, and if I can hit that the hardest note in the song, then I know I'm good for all the other shit that's in the song. I guess.
When we do a gig, I just practiced the weekend before.
Right, you practice for like 3 hours.
3 hours.
I thought of a good, funny story for a road story. Remember when we played the River Room? We were outside taking a break, and the guy just comes up and starts singing. Was it Metallica's version of "Turn the Page"?
Yeah,
to you
yeah.
for no reason, just because he knew you were the singer in the
Yeah,
band.
I got serenaded. That was weird.
Maybe he was auditioning.
I think he wanted to get up and do a song. I'm
Right.
not sure. He didn't ask. We wasn't going to let him because we heard his version of Metallica's "Turn the Page."
That's like Fraser. It always got him when he'd be playing his guitar and somebody would walk in. They walk up to the stage and he's sitting there playing his guitar and they're like, and he's just kind of like, hey, like can't really help you out. Kind of busy at the moment.
That reminded me of a story with White Line back in the day. Was looking. Actually, I think it was when we snagged you up because it was Frank's was playing before that, and we were actually having auditions, which I've never auditioned anybody ever before.
He was usually like, he'll do it.
Yeah. So we were having auditions for a bass player. I won't mention the names, but dude showed up and it's like, all right, well, what songs? We'll play a couple songs. You play your bass, Well, this dude shows up. He's got an acoustic guitar, and that's it. And so we're like, well, here's a bass. Styler's got a bass.
Right.
And he's like, no, I'm going to do this audition my way. And he sang the original Bob Seger version of "Turn the Page" on his acoustic guitar.
Was it good?
It was pretty
It
good.
was pretty good.
But he got done with it, put his guitar back in the case, and left. And we're like, dude, don't you want to audition for this bass player job?
That was an
And he
oddest
says,
face.
I just did. So, needless to say, he didn't get the gig.
Wow.
So, I don't know if he could play bass or not.
He probably can. Turn the page, right?
If he could play guitar that well, we could probably play.
Probably. Well, I don't
I
know.
wouldn't know.
Yeah, we would. The world would never know. He could be the next Les Claypool, but he just does it his way.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of admire that.
Oh, yeah. How rock and roll is that?
That's right. Punk rock out the ass, man. That's
The only
like,
thing would have made it better if he'd have smashed that guitar.
or lit it on fire and did
Yeah.
the Hendrix thing. Which I still want to do that one of these days. Not to my guitar.
No, use his.
Not shut his. Have you seen how big this cat is? I'm not breaking this shit. Plus, I feel bad because I've known him since we were like 7 or something.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you guys wanted to cover, or I don't really have a way that I wrap things up. I do, however, have a thing. It's my 3rd episode, so now I have a thing. You can answer individually. There's no pressure. But Brian, if you had to pick between the power of flight and the power of invisibility, which one would you choose and why?
Who doesn't want to fly? Well, you know what? You can always buy a plane ticket to fly.
But if you're invisible, you don't need one.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's got to be invisibility, right?
Right. And I guess this is like a little sub part. Would you use your powers for good or evil, or kind of mix it up?
Probably mostly evil.
Right. Good answer.
Yeah,
Shut it.
yes, for sure. Invisible for evil.
For evil? Me too. I would just want to make the people at the bank freak out when there's bags of cash just floating out of the bank.
Last time I flew was on
Cars.
a helicopter with a heart attack,
Right.
so I don't really care.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like,
The guy from the Dirty Heathens, he brought up a very interesting point. He said that if you picked the power of flight, that technically you could fly so far up in the air you wouldn't be able to be seen. So you could kind of harness both the invisibility and the power of flight. I'm going with straight across the board, evil, invisibility. I'm banking money. I'm paying people's houses off.
Yeah.
So hopefully I get hit by toxic waste or lightning or both or whatever it takes to do that. I have to Google it, I guess. Yeah. But I don't really have a way of wrapping things up. That's kind of the way I do it here, man. It's pretty
Well,
off the cuff.
you wrap it up with an invite to come back and do some acoustic stuff.
Yes, we're definitely going to get some guitars on the podcast and get some actual music on the Music Lounge. We could put it on the green screen, man. We could make it look like we were at the Newport, Sydney, that big orchestra thing that
Right.
looks like mac and cheese shells.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, that's probably not what it's called.
No,
but
no, probably not.
mac and cheese.
Might have to get a couple
campus here.
songs down with the legends here and have a little dual vocal. Me and
Oh,
Fraser.
yeah.
Might
Yeah,
be
we
kind
could
of
do
neat.
some
Oh yeah. Well, I
Alice
mean,
in
if
Chains
we're
or
gonna do it.
something.
We'll do it right. We'll
Yeah.
invite Terry. Get-
right.
Well, you want to do like full.
Do
I
some,
was just thinking
do,
acoustic.
do some 3-part harmonies.
That would be
yeah.
cool.
I mean, 3 or 4 acoustic guitars. It's still acoustic.
Right. Awesome. Well, hey, thanks guys for doing it. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, man.
If I stumbled through it, it's because I just don't know what I'm doing.
Me neither.
Honestly. But I don't really want it to appear that I know what I'm doing because that's kind of part of my act.
It makes for good television.
Right. I want to be like
Is
Will
it called
Ferrell.
television? Is this
I
called
don't
television?
think it is. I think television died in the 1900s, man.
No?
I think it's all interweb.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thanks everybody for joining us.
Rock of Shockton.
Rock of Shockton.
Be
It
there
is
or be square.
July 25th, 26th, 27th. The 27th is a huge car show. I think they're going to have band there or music
band
during
or
the
two,
car
isn't
show.
there?
I believe. I don't know who it is. Ryan, is it Ryan Lee? Andrew Lee. His middle
Yeah,
name
then
could
the
be Ryan.
Filthy Heathens free show on
The
Thursday.
Filthy Heathens are playing Thursday. It's a free show. No excuse not to go. It's free. And those guys were so cool to have on the podcast, man. They really were. Because, like I said, I'm as amateur as it gets. So,
Big
They-
shout out to Mickey Smith and all
Yeah,
he
Mickey
does,
Smith. Without
everything
Mickey,
he does
this-
for the community, and
none of this would be possible. There
great
would
guy,
be,
good friend to everybody, his whole gang, his whole crew.
I seen him one time, man. He was walking down the street. He picked up a snail and he moved it like 10 feet. Saved him like 3 days journey, man. He's that kind of cat. He really is. I think that's enough. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.